Well, thanks for visiting us this morning at KTALnews.com. I'm meteorologist Josh Morses with your Wednesday morning forecast update. Dry this morning, but we do have some scattered storms returning this afternoon. We should have some decent coverage of the rain through the afternoon and evening today. At least some low-end potential that we could see some wind with a few of the storms here. But this morning we'll see kind of increasing clouds here, and you can see there's several clusters of storms ongoing over here in Texas, and it's this cluster that's developing down in South Texas that will get pulled up towards the Arklatex later today. Just how far north that rain gets is the main question today, but there's a high likelihood that we'll see that rain along and south of I-20 this afternoon, this evening. So we should be dry through most of the morning here, except for maybe just a few isolated showers that may pop up here early in the day. But the main push of rain and storms likely coming in after 4 p.m. for most areas here. And once we get to sunset, we'll likely see the storms fizzle out tonight. So the main risk for severe weather will be for high wind, and it's just south of I-20 that we'll see that potential for wind. And I would say the window for the storms here would likely be in the 3 to 7 p.m. time frame. After 7 p.m. we can see some of the storms drift into the northern Arklatex today, but the storms will be losing their punch after sunset, so that's why we're not in the outlook here in the northern Arklatex today. But I would say regardless of that, if you see any storms, there will be the potential to see some wind today. Feels great this morning. We have a lot of areas in the low to mid 60s here, so this will be our most comfortable morning of the week. And then the clouds will kind of take over throughout the day here. Not much wind. The wind will only be out of the north at about 5 miles per hour, so we really don't have any wind shear in the atmosphere, which is why we don't have a lot of severe weather hazards. But again, wind will be the main threat with any storms later today. And the high temperatures likely in the 80s. We should have plenty of time to warm up today. So Shreveport at 88, that is our typical high that we see this time of the year. So the only question is just how thick the clouds will get here, but I'm thinking there'll be enough sun breaking through the clouds early in the day. It should easily push us at least into the mid 80s this afternoon. And here come the storms. You can see on Futurecast here that it's just kind of a lightly scattered amount of storms here. This is one run. I'm going to show you both forecast models here, but it does bring in a pretty good push of storms this afternoon, this evening, south of Interstate 20. And here's our in-house model, which has actually been performing really well with the pattern this week. And you can see the storms beginning to push in from South Texas. This, our in-house model here, shows a better push of rain into the northern Arklatex, but it kind of gets the same idea that the storms will dissipate, at least the intensity of the storms, after sunset tonight. So low-end potential that we would see any severe weather carry past sunset. But you can see some scattered showers out there. Tomorrow morning, we'll likely see pretty active weather tomorrow as well. And again, wind will be the main risk with any storms on Thursday as well. And we should begin to dry out Friday and into the weekend. Looking at the rainfall through the end of the week, we're still showing heaviest rain south of I-20, and that will mainly be with the push of storms today. So there could be some areas here that pick up maybe 1 to 2 inches of rain, and maybe add a little bit more to that on Thursday. We had the flood watch earlier in the week, so it's not going to take much to trigger some roadway flooding here. But again, we do not have a flood watch out for the next few days here, as the rain should be pretty manageable for most areas. We do dry out this weekend. Stays in the 80s. Actually, a really nice start to the weekend, and then we'll start to feel the heat turn up by Sunday. We'll be in the low 90s next week with just some slight to scattered rain chances next Monday and Tuesday.